Hello and welcome to a special episode of Surprise in Places. Special because today we are not going to show you the whole building, as is our custom, but one particular room, but one room that I've wanted to see for a long time because whenever I saw a photo of it, I thought this is something fantastic, incredible, and I want to show you that too. So today we have that opportunity. We're in Prague, in Smíchov, in a building that dates back to 1936. It's the Czech Social Security Administration building, but we're here because of this one particular room, the filing cabinet, which you can see behind me, and we're going to present it to you today. If you have ever come to Prague by train, specifically to Smíchov train station, you will have seen the building of today's Czech Social Security Administration. It's such a distinctive building with a dome, but we're not in it today. We're right next door in its 1930s extension, which was a beautiful functionalist building by František Albert Libra. You may recall that in our other video we showed you the so-called Edison Transformation Station Prague Center, which is another of his works, a beautiful piece of engineering. This filing cabinet was also not originally in here. It was tested in a slightly smaller space that was symmetrical, open, and the filing cabinet was on both sides. And when you look at the original footage, you feel like you're in a science fiction movie. It was a really beautiful, you could say, insurance lobby with lots of beautiful details, with a glass ceiling, with fantastic light fixtures, and you were really in some kind of exclusive space. Then I think the concept was rethought a little bit. It seemed better to have the drawers facing each other so you could enter from the two outside sides, and the filing cabinet was actually in the middle.
Hello, what are you still doing in there, man? You don't even have the right to do that.
Hello, Mr. Chief. I wanted to go for a ride one last time over here.
We're in a room that's over 50 meters long and 8 meters high. And on my right hand, here behind the long wall, there are, of course, papers with information on almost every one of us. But what's extremely interesting about it is the sheer volume and size that's packed in here. There are a total of 9,000 drawers like this. Each drawer is 3 meters long, so if you count it, there are 720 kilometers of papers, and it's stacked up in this kind of space. So if you're in business, you pay Social Security, you save your superannuation. Even if you're employed and your employer pays it for you, it's there too. And because there's a law and an obligation to keep this stuff for 50 years, of course there's a lot of it. There are 130 million of these papers in total. You might think that in this day and age of advanced information technology, that these things don't have to be physically here anymore, that they're all digitized and sitting on some hardware storage. That's only partly true. Yes, they are digitized, but whenever the police or the courts request such information, they overwhelmingly require it in physical form, and that's why it's here. We're in a simple reinforced concrete building that really has some primitive geometry, but there's a separate steel structure inserted into it, which of course carries these extremely heavy papers. But what we find terribly interesting is the individual cranes that ride on the rails. One is in the floor, one is up in the ceiling. And this thing, which is a single workstation, you're actually sitting behind a desk, and the desk can move up and down, and the whole thing on the rail left and right, and that allows you to get to the exact position of each individual drawer. This is actually a beautiful piece of engineering. The company that designed it still has their names and period signs here, so you can read it. And really, since 1936, it's still working, so I think it's definite proof it was done brilliantly. The filing cabinet is symmetrical, so it's on two sides. Two sides get natural light from the outer facade, and we're currently in a place where you wouldn't normally get, which is in the space in the middle between the two outer filing cabinets. So now we're looking at it from the back, and I'm so happy to be able to see it from the back because it's technically an incredibly perfect thing that doesn't pretend anything, but is totally functional. We're inside a steel structure. The steel structure is fully connected to the building, so you can't see it from here. It's bolted together, and suddenly you're looking at this back technical part that really isn't trying to be beautiful. It's supposed to be functional, but maybe that's why it is beautiful. The brilliant Swiss architect Peter Zumthor once at the Hanover Expo made the Swiss pavilions as a so-called timber warehouse, and he did it that way on purpose, so that the wood could be taken apart again. And it looked very similar. Very similarly, you saw a simple steel system into which the individual elements are inserted to create a beautiful structure. So paper, iron pieces, individual drawers in between, nothing more. And it's this kind of elevated, narrow space that I've never seen anything like it in my life. But it's a huge experience for me, and I'm glad I got to see it. One of the main reasons we went to see it today is the sheer size of it, because those huge dimensions required a unique technical solution. Once you have to put 130 million papers somewhere and you need to get to any one of them quickly, then of course, if it's not a computer and it's not today's current computing technology, but it's actually this mechanical storage space, then suddenly you have to come up with something unique. And here they actually came up with it in 1936, and the thing still works to this day. I find that fascinating. It's not some movie set or just some warehouse. It's a thing that you still need. Sometimes you just need a specific physical paper that you take out of here. And this machine allows you to do that, and I'm so happy that we were able to see it today.